organizers, I extend a warm and hearty welcome to the third day program of this international virtual faculty development program on research and writing, jointly organized by Andhra Loyola Institute of Engineering and Technology, Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh, and Cape Comorin Trust India. And today we have a couple of eminent speakers lined up for your benefit, and I'll be really happy to introduce today's first speaker. It's a pleasure to introduce Dr. Y. Kalyana Lakshmi. She's working as an assistant professor in the Department of Physics, the University College of Science, Osmania University, Hyderabad, Telangana State. She worked as a research associate at Osmania University for about 3 years, from April 2011 to 2014. She was appointed assistant professor in Osmania University in 2014, and she was awarded her PhD in 2010 from Osmania University. She has carried out significant studies on synthesis, characterization, and magnetic transport, magnetic studies of magnetic materials, and so on. Her research interests include magnetoresistance, magnetocaloric, and thermoelectric properties on perovskite materials. In addition, she has authored or co-authored 30 international peer-reviewed publications on magnetite materials. She has presented and poster presentations in many national and international conferences. Besides that, she has completed minor and major research projects funded by the UGC and the DST. She's also a reviewer for Scopus Index journals. At the moment, she's guiding 3 PhD scholars, and one of the PhD scholars has submitted her thesis. That is in brief about Dr. Kalyana Lakshmi ji. And may now request and invite Dr. Kalyana Lakshmi ji to start her presentation. Ma'am, the stage is yours now.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Fully audible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Shall I start, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Please go on.
Yes.
Thank you.
So is the screen clear, sir, to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Writing this is article for Scopus.
Yes.
It's visible now.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity, sir. Today I'll start this topic. So the topic which was given to me is writing research articles for Scopus. And here the content of my talk will be based on what is research writing and what's the quality of writing a research article and structure of research papers, sections, order of research writing, and submission to a journal. So this is the content of math, sir.
Sir, are you sharing the screen, full screen?
Yeah, I'm sharing the full screen, sir. Is it clear, sir?
Full screen is not coming out.
Full screen is not coming? Okay. Now is it okay, sir, then?
Second slide.
It is visible.
Is it visible? Hello?
It is visible, ma'am.
Yes, is it visible? Shall I keep it like this or shall I put it as a full screen?
Full screen.
Full screen is okay? Okay, okay.
Yes.
Now we will start with a research article. So a research article is a scientific article, and it's a document which actually describes the experimental, theoretical, or observational extensions of the current knowledge or advances in the practical applications. These are some of the basic, see how we say what is a research article, why we need to publish the article in journals. It is a research which we are carrying out in different disciplines. The research output here, whether it is an experimental work or a theoretical work, or it is something related to your statistics and all, everything we are something new findings we are putting it in the paper form, writing form, and submitting it to a relevant journal. And what is the purpose of writing a research article here is to, it must, the whatever we are writing must translate and transfer the knowledge to the scientific community of your disciplines. So this is one of the major uh, purpose of writing a research article here. And now, what are the different types of research articles actually we come across? One is the original article, and another is a review article. Third one is short communication, and you can also write in the form of a book chapter or a review, book review, or you can also submit the same work to some conference papers. So depending on how we are trying to put your data, so you can publish in different, depending on these types of articles, means you can choose. Now what I suggest is, before you are writing, that is you before the research and everything, after completing or collecting the data, then what is that first thing what the authors should do? That is, first you choose that to which journal you wanted to publish. Because if I say you have we are talking about Scopus journals, which is internationally accepted journals, and depending on, now there are many means many journals, like different Elsevier is there, Springer is there, and Vele is there, and academic American Ceramic Society, means these are all science journals which I know. So I am pointing out to some of the journals. So to which journal you want to publish your data, you know the content of your work. Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
You have not started the slideshow. It's still showing full. Possible to start the slideshow so that the content is visible better.
Sir, actually, I'm taking the full screen. I'm using full screen. If it is full screen is not clear, then I will have to stop that full screen. Because it is now, and now you can see.
Clear, but we can see.
No. Can you see the?
We are able to see it.
You are able to see it.
Yes, we can see the screen very clearly.
Okay. Maybe it is with some interruption with your data. I mean your internet. Is it clear? Shall I proceed like this or with the full screen? That's what I just wanted to know. Sir, is it okay now? Can you see the screen now?
I can see the screen now.
So actually, your voice is also not coming clearly, sir.
So I just thought that if it is a slideshow, it will be slightly bigger because some on their phones. So I thought better visibility, the slideshow.
Sir, for me, slideshow here, the PPT which I'm using, it is clear, and some of them are also saying that it is also clear to them.
Well, go ahead, ma'am. Sorry.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Okay, sir.
Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. Now I'm sharing full screen. Okay. So here, the first thing what we have to do is, as a researchers, means after collecting the data, you choose to which journal you wanted to send. So suppose if I say, depending on the nature of the work, that is in which specific field you are working. Like I have given examples of in the case of medicine. Suppose there are different areas of research. So suppose anybody is working in the field of cancer. So better choosing a cancer related work is rather good than choosing some other journal, because the readers, as you see, so there are many readers who will be following some articles which refers to certain type of field. Like for example, I am working in magnetism. So if I say, if I publish something else other than a structure or something else, so my findings will not reach to the scientific community. This is what I wanted to say. And not only that, it is the you should see that your journal, like these days, so the Scopus journals, now you are indexed based on your H index. How many are seeing your article and how many are citing your article. And so publishing your article means your work in a relevant journal will give you more scope to your, I mean, improve your work, not only to improve your work, but you get good H index. That is what I just wanted to mean. And the readers, that is what so it is also that the authors can, so before we are starting that, I am choosing some XYZ journal, then you can go through their guidelines, like before writing itself, then you will go through it. Then what is the length of the paper, it should be how many papers, how many figures, how many tables you should give. So if, after going thoroughly to the guidelines, then you can start writing. So that's why the first thing what you can do is keep your data with you and or work with you, and you will know where it can be published in your type of works. So the other one is, what is the quality of writing a research article? So here it provides necessary information in every section of manuscript. Means, as you see that in a research, while writing a research articles, you have different section. So when you say that you are writing some article, it means it should reflect your quality in every section what you are writing. Then the second intention is, you should not repeat whatever you are writing, the same thing you should not repeat throughout your manuscript. That is the one. And organization of your manuscript with respect, that is what I am saying. You organize your article such that it meets the standard of that particular journal. That's what. And you have, for scope of journals, you have a basic structure that we will be doing, that is called as IMRD structure, and that we will be next slides we will see. And keep the content at appropriate places, like don't first you start writing in a sequence. First you write however you are planning, means how you are planning that what should I report first, what should be the second one. So you keep the same content, write about, suppose if you are trying to give some information, write about that information uh, next to it. It means you should not write here, some part should be not written here, and somewhere else it should not be done. And that is what I was telling you. You should also focus on the guidelines, which is very, very important. And the very important is your language. The language and the grammar we are using should be easy and understandable to all the readers of in the particular field. So these are the some of the main tips that one should follow for a good research article. Now, what is, as we were talking about, we have a standard structure. So irrespective of the journals, so different journals, so we have a one standard structure. And what is the structure of a research paper, how it should be. So for this, the structure of the research paper is something like the title of the paper, abstract, introduction, methodology, results, discussions, conclusions, acknowledgments, and references. See this, whatever I was referring to you in the previous slide, that is IMRD, is introduction, methodology,
Excuse me,
results,
ma'am.
and a discussion. Yeah,
I think slides are not moving.
it's moving, ma'am. I'm changing the slides.
Yeah, now it's moved.
Ma'am, then I will not go for full screen, ma'am. I think it's better I will use like this only. Because if I'm going full screen, I think it is little slower. As
Yeah, now it is moving.
now, then I will follow like this. The structure of the research article, this IMRD is the introduction, methodology, results, and the discussions. So generally, if I am starting, I have to start with what is called as the title of the research article, which is very, very important. That why? Because it is based on the work here. It is completely, the title should say or reflect that what you are reporting in your research article. So the title should be concise, informative and attractive. Means as soon as readers read your title, they should, means when we are searching the research articles, generally, how do we search? We just give some keywords, and based on the keywords, then people started searching about the literature. So if you see that by looking into the title, then people, then the readers, what they do is they wanted to see whether they want to download it or not. So if it is an attractive title, then people feel that, yes, readers feel that there is some content in your work. So then the title should be concise. You should not give a lengthy title to the article unless it is necessary. It should be attractive title, as I said, and describe the content and aim of the study. Means something should, as I said, it should reflect what is your aim in your title. It should reflect in your title itself, and contain some important keywords. That is what I am talking about. So you have to say that, means you have to use your, like, magnetism or some cancer related, or you are doing on some statistics or something related, means theoretical work. It should reflect in your means it should reflect in your title. So for example, I have given you here coronavirus disease 2019 and clinical update. So some I have taken from the internet. So other title is application of nanotechnology in water and wastewater treatments. So it gives that, yes, nanotechnology. Suppose if I am looking at some nanotechnology and something related to wastewater management, then this is how you just give some keywords in the Google, and you will see that you will find these articles. That is what. And another is something related to your thermoelectrics. This is how, means it should be concise and informative title. So title is a very important in writing a research article. And the next one is authors. So as soon as you start writing, as soon as if you see any research article, below the title you see that the authors and affiliations. So who is it? Here? This is a very, very important thing. So you cannot see, it depends on, first one is actually first author should be the main author of the paper. Means the maximum work will be done by the first author. As far as, means if suppose like a student is working under some supervision, then the student will be doing all the work, and then the student will be the first author of the manuscript. And later the contributing authors in the sense, here it says, suppose you have some collaboration with the other institutions, or you have taken some help from others where it is inevitable that you have to give the authorships, then you just have to mention there, or you have to give them as a contributing author, if unless it is necessary. It is not that, and that you just keep on giving everybody's names. No. And next is your corresponding author. As you know, this corresponding author is very, very important because he is whole and sole responsible for that paper. The first author here is what means the work is done by the first author, and the corresponding author is completely, it is not that he has not done, like suppose if he is a guy supervisor, then he will be the corresponding author for that particular article. So he'll be responsible for the whole article. Suppose if something is gone wrong, then he will also be in trouble. And then later your affiliations of the institutions along with their complete addresses, emails and fax numbers of the corresponding author. And another most important thing these days, because people are very cautious about the authorships these days, because the plagiarism is a major factor nowadays. As in, suppose if you want to give somebody because of the help you have got, or some other support you have got from the other institutions, you should take the consent from the corresponding contributing authors here. Unless until you get a consent, you should not keep them as authors, because as soon as you send the article, once you just submit to the journal, you'll be providing all the email IDs. So these your journal will be once it is submitted, so every author will get the mail saying that yes, this is the paper which is submitted to the journal, give your consent. Then you should inform them before you are sending or keeping him or her as a contributing author. So after completing this, means you will be deciding before itself that whom we should give the authors. You will know how many authors are there in this manuscript or your research article. Now coming to is abstract of the research article. And what does it abstract says? This abstract is very important. That is your summary. It must cover the summary of the whole research work. That is the significance and the results what you have found with the finally with the conclusions, and see that there are no errors or no repetitions in the abstract. So it should be a concise one. As far as some journals are concerned, you cannot write a lengthy abstract. It is restricted to a few words, like it will be restricted to, means if you are even submitting, you will write a lengthy abstract and you cannot see that, means it will not accept. When you are submitting, it will not accept. So it is some word restrictions are there. So therefore you see that the results are completely means what all your findings are there, and what all results, what all the measurements you are done, or what is the data you have got, and what is that you have got from the data, and finally conclude what has happened finally, and how it is applicable. If it is sciences in you should write, how is it applicable to the society. So this is what you have to keep in mind while writing the abstract. Generally, if you are sending these papers to some conferences, they'll ask you to send first abstract, as you all know. So abstract means it covers everything, whole summary of your work. So therefore, and see that the grammar is good, and you should not make many errors, means not errors while writing your abstract. Finally, after writing the abstract, your journal, when you are submitting, then it will ask some keywords, because it depends on what are the major means keywords in your work. Then coming to the abstract, then start with your goals and of an introduction. So now the next one, what you
Sorry
see
for the interruption, ma'am.
yeah
Hello, ma'am.
yeah
Sorry for the interruption, ma'am.
yeah
I have a doubt, ma'am.
yeah
What should be the length of the abstract, ma'am?
Actually, length, it should be very concise, sir. That is what I am telling you. Sometimes some journals, there is no restriction of your abstract. It depends on the journal. In some journals, they'll ask you to confine with 600 words, 500 words, something like that. So then you have to, or less than that sometimes. Then you have to concise it. You should not write everything like, okay, you should not write something like a big one page. You cannot write one page. It should confine to some less than 10 lines. Okay, sir?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Then introduction. Then as soon as you complete the abstract, you see that introduction. These are the sections which are included. Actually, these are the how you have to write. First, introduction, and what are the goals of an introduction. What is that you have to write in the introduction? So the introduction here says the essential part of your research articles. That is, when you are writing, so you should create interest in the readers, right? So that is what it says. Readers should get attracted to the topic which you are presenting here. And before you start writing it, you have to give some background of your work, first of all. So when without giving background, you cannot directly write it that I have done this, this is what. No. So first, you suppose you are writing on something, some topic, and give background of the topic. And after that, what is the existing thing which is happening? Okay, this has already, so it has started some long back ago, but you are still trying to do something there. So you give background, and now what is the existing one? What is happening now in the current form, and how your work means you are continuing it in what way, why you want to do this one. That's what the research approach fits with the current status. Means you cannot say that already somebody has done because I have also done. It doesn't give you any meaning. So yes, they have done that work, but now with extension to that, there are some limitations. So that I am now, with respect to the current status, this is what I am trying to do. Now give the research details, the problem to be solved. Yes. Then why you are doing this work? Then write it. And overview of your structure, And always remember that whenever you are writing, you are summarizing that, yes, what has already done, and what is now, what is happening in the present, and what is that you are doing in the current paper or the current work, and what is that you are publishing in the current work. So this is how you want to write. Finally, you have to end up with the aim of the research. So this is how the main elements of the introduction should be. So why research is important, that is what I said. What is already done, the background you will be writing, that so and so has started, this work has started with this, and later what is, so many people are doing the same type, and what is already done. You take the latest things, collect the latest literature and see that what is done with reference to what your work. It is not that you would cite somebody which is not relevant to your work. That's what. So what is already known, and what to be known about the work, and what is that you wanted to tell them, and then you say that these are the importance why I am choosing this work, and this is what I am trying to study. Then conclude at aim, that this is what I have done, this is the aim of the current article. So this is how you should come. Your introduction should be like this. Now coming to the second here is methodology, and this section is also called as methodology. This are, of course, you will be using even in your thesis also. When you are writing your thesis, the student is writing your thesis, then the one chapter is completely dedicated to methodology. So what do your methodology or method says, like how you have done your work, is a most important component. Now you will start writing it. So how you have collected the data, and what is that you have chosen, and everything you should present in the methodology. Should be very descriptive. So in point by point you have to write that, yes, I have taken this so and so with some conditions, these are the conditions. Everything you should put it in the methodology form. That is, it discusses about how the current results were obtained. So it says, yes, I have done this, these are the results, how you have obtained. Because unless until you, for data collection also, suppose you have a survey, then what is that you are doing, you are choosing one area, right? So you will be choosing, and these areas that so from so and so to so and so, on these statistics you will put it. So how you are, which area you have chosen, or and you have to give the locations also, like location. Suppose if it is sciences related, then you should give the methodology. Suppose if I am saying you are trying to prepare a new material, yes, how did you prepare that? Because without the preparation, giving a preparation technique, you cannot proceed to the you cannot proceed further. Suppose you have experimental, like, yes, I have used this experimental, this equipment has been used, this is what you have to give in the methodology. Means every information should be clearly mentioned in the methodology part, your experimental details, and it should also reflect your quality of the present study. So if I am saying, yes, I am following like this, and as soon as you read, yes, it should say that, yes, they have done. It's everything point by point. If you go on writing, then they will feel that yes, this is your quality of it should be reflected in the present study. Then coming to is results. Then after this is done, then what else next we have to put it is your results. So now you have to the obtained data. Now you just speak about your obtained, or you start writing about the data which is obtained, and what is its behavior. This is what one has to do. And it should contain data. It can also contain, means you should contain data. Suppose if you want to put you cannot write everything point by point, isn't it? So what is that, how the behavior can be easily seen? It is your graphs or tables. The explain, they should reflect your data. Means you should means this is the result which I have got, and I am showing it in the figure form or the picture form. So it should contain graphs, tables. Sometimes tables are also required, and it should also specify the literature review here. When I am saying, suppose, yes, I have got some results, and now means do you get it for the first time, or somebody else have also done, and how is it different here? So I said, yes, see, this is the behavior which I have got, and so and so it is also somehow similar to somebody else, that If it is matching with somebody else in the literature, you can cite them there. So, but ultimately what is that one has to do in the results is you just discuss about your results here. Complete discussion, complete results, what all you wanted to discuss, what all you want to put in, explain, yes, explain your results there. Then coming to here is your discussion part. Based on the results, what all you have obtained, yes, I have got like this. You said, yes, I got these results. And of course, these are matching with some, and why I have got something else. Suppose if you are reporting something else different from what actually somebody else have reported, then come to discussion here. Now what is that you have to do is, now you start discussing or interpret your results provided in the above section. So what all the results you have said, yes, these are the results which I have got from my findings. Now you explain them. So why this type of behavior is coming? Why then what and how can I, and with what hypothesis this can be with the literature which is already available? Is it matching? And how they have explained, and how you want to explain this or discuss it in the present case, in your case. Then organize the discussion from specific to journal. Means you have to organize such that you start giving, suppose if you have any equations you wanted to write it, yes, you giving equations, you can write, you can show that yes, this is the information which I have got, but come sequence wise. That is what it means. Suppose if you started with some results first discuss about that result, then you move to the next one. Means follow the sequence, not that you take the second one first, and you should not interchange them. Order should be, you should give the information in a proper sequence, and include limitations to your study and discuss and possible future research that is needed. At the end of the discussion, you should say that yes, this is what I have done, and this is what is the possible, means what is the future work which is needed to continue this work. This is how your discussion part should be, and this is the elements of the discussion section. So significance, and compare the results, and tell them what is the strength of your work. You have to, here important thing is, it is not that yes, I got this, I got this, I got this, just to close it. Nobody is now these days, you cannot just say by just giving yes, I got this, I got this, I got this, that's all. You cannot end your manuscript like that. You have to say what are the strengths of your work, what are the, and also your limitations also. That limitations will be implemented in your future work. You have to say that yes, these might be the limitations. Otherwise, if you could not discuss it, or you could not find any type of any type of explanation for it, then you have to see that somebody with reference to some hypothesis, yes, this we are trying to give the explanation, and maybe for this some further research or further discussions is required. Then you just say them, and then close it with the suggestions for the future work. You will say that I will do it in the future work. And this is how the elements of the discussion should be. And later, finally, after this, you see that discussion part of the discussion is completed. You have to end with the conclusions. Now, how you have started the abstract, and now conclusions. Finally, you will see the conclusions should include your importance, what are the key findings, and what is the impact to the society, and what are the future work. So you should start writing. First, this sequence should be followed. That is importance of your work, what are the key findings, what you have done, and how does this work impact the society or to your community, and then later your future scope, what is that you want to do in the future work. And in this is included in the conclusions part. And next is acknowledgments. In the acknowledgments, generally you see that the authors must provide the information of all funding agencies, because when Scopus journals, when you are submitting the articles, this is one of the important things what your journal also will ask, you have any funding support. So you have to acknowledge them, all the fundings, like you have sanctioned some project is sanctioned by DHT or UGC or some other agencies. So then you have to fund them, you have to acknowledge them, it is compulsory. And if suppose a student is there, a scholar is there, so she is getting or he is getting any fellowships, so then the student has to acknowledge the funding agency for the fellowship or organization for the fellowship. And in the acknowledgements, you should also acknowledge the efforts of any other person who were not included them as a author in the manuscript. Suppose if you are not giving, like your authors have become very, number of authors have increased in your manuscript, then what is that you have to do is include them, means acknowledge them at least in the acknowledgements. You have to give just in for their efforts, at least you have to acknowledge them. Like your technical scientists are there, somebody these days what is happening is people are not asking for authorships, because I don't know, but what so far I have come across, some people say, madam, it's better you acknowledge us, we no need of authorships. Then you should support, means you should acknowledge them in the acknowledgements. You should give their names in the acknowledgements. That is what for providing any other assistance should be acknowledged. This is in the acknowledgements. And finally, references. So the literature, what all you are citing in the articles. Citations means you should give in a sequence. So if you are starting with from introduction onwards, you will have that your citations means you will cite the article literature. So 1, 2, 3, 4, you will go on giving them in an order. So that sequence should be followed in the references. And the references must have author names. And these days, sometimes they are also asking titles, publishing journal, year, volume, and issue or page number. So, and the other important thing is the references. So depending on that is what I said. So when you choose a journal in the first, means if you choose your article, targeted article, like you will know that how these article is asking to give, in which format they are asking you to give. So you have the format. Generally we have a standard format, but in some journals your format is different. So you cannot see, once you have prepared it, you start preparing in a standard format, but when you start uploading it, then what will happen is they will not even there if it is going for checking in the editorial, not in the editorial, in the office itself, they will see that your references are not according to a journal, and they'll send you back. So what one should do is you should provide in a standard format which is enumerated by different journals. This is your how you just give references. This is citation format, how you just cite the articles. If it is a chapter, suppose if you are including any chapter or a book, then it is how you should cite, it means give the references here. So this is the general structure what I have discussed briefly about how to write a research article. Now coming to, okay, this is a thing now, how a research article generally will be. Now it is how you start writing a paper. See what order I should follow. Yes, you have results in front of you. You keep everything ready. Yes, I have results. I have acquired everything. Everything is ready now. Then what is that I have to do? Now you have to start writing. You know the structure now. You know what all to be done. But what should I start first? So for easy thing, see, you have order of writing these articles. First you start with your methodology. Don't write abstract. And of course, title also, you don't decide title first. But you should, like you are naming a girl or a boy, then what will you do? You have some names with you. Then depending on that, you will decide which name to be given. So you just keep in mind, depending on your article, then you keep in mind some article titles. So then you can finalize in the last. When you are just trying to finalize authors also, you know, but write your methodology first. First finish off your detailed methodology. Then go to your results, because these are the results which you wanted to submit and you wanted to publish. Then once you complete these two, then start writing your discussions. Collect the literature which is related to your results, keep them ready, and start writing the discussion part. Then write your conclusion, and finally, because that is what I am saying, finally start writing introduction. Because as you see that these methodology, results, and discussion, your articles which you have collected, literature, now will be useful in the introduction. Because this is what the current research you are saying, some articles will be definitely used in the introduction part. So once everything is completed, then go for finally you start writing your introduction. So this is the order of writing a paper. So this becomes easy for you to write. So you cannot start writing without, because once you complete your discussion till your discussion part, now you get a complete idea, because you'll go through all the literature, then you'll get a complete idea how should orderly I should write your introduction, which is effective introduction, right? So this is what the order of writing a research paper. Generally what one should do is, suppose if we have collected the data, then what I have to do. So depending on the journal, now how many tables I should, suppose if you want to put the data in table form, so you want to give, you cannot give n number of tables. So concise your tables. Like the small table, I cannot, because it is very small, I cannot give 10 tables in a small manuscript. No. So you have to see that how the tables means what actually data which I wanted to, which from which I can just say means explain my results. So prepare your tables. So you have again a format for it, depending on your journal, and your figures from the data which you have collected. Suppose if you are giving bar graphs, or if you are giving anything distributions, if you are giving, or if you are trying to give its behavior, experimental data you are trying to show, or suppose if some life sciences are concerned, or chemistry, some reactions they wanted to show. See, even everything they have to keep them ready, and how many figures are necessary to explain my data, to explain my work. So that is very, very important here. That is first, that's why you prepare your table. Sometimes unnecessary table should not be given. If you just keep the table, you should discuss about it, or you should give that explanation about that particular table. It is not that yes, it is there because I have data, I'll keep extra table. No, it's not like that. Extra figure, no, not like that. So confine to your results and important results, important findings, you prepare them in the form of tables and figures, because based on that, now you will start explaining, you are start putting the results. Now you'll start writing the and captions of the figure. Suppose, so which figure you want to put first, which data you want to first discuss first, or results, which one you wanted to write first, then give them as a figure 1, give its caption, how is it varying on x-axis, what is that you are varying, and y-axis, what is that is it changing. So give the details of it with the, it should be precise and complete. Your figure titles and table titles should be complete. You should give a good caption there. And figure 1, figure 2, table 1 and table 2, just number them first ever. That is what, table and figure numbers carefully, indicate your table numbers and figure numbers carefully. Generally we do some mistakes here. Suppose if you immediately want to change it, but in the manuscript or in the text you will see that table 1 instead you will have table 2, then all confusions will come. That the complete it shows that yes, they have not now organized their manuscript in a good fashion. This gives an impression to the editor here. Means editor also will read the paper, because it goes to the editor. Maybe depending on your keywords, then this corresponding work will go to the concerned person, their concerned editor there. Then he'll also go through your manuscript, or what actually is it reflecting your work. Then only he will forward to reviewers. Otherwise, he will not forward it. He will send it back that it is not suitable for our journal. So that is why it should be very attractive. You should not commit any mistakes while doing this. And formatted as per the prescribed guidelines of the journal. You should format them as per the prescribed format. Now, once you have your results in the form of figures, like you have every picture you have in front of you, now what is that you write? Start writing methodology. That is what I was telling you. You start writing about methodology. Sometimes you can also put it in the flow chart form, right? So you can also put it in the flow chart form. That is what I have discussed. Suppose for sciences, they were water waste management. I said, how is water waste management done? So I'm saying some cancer is, they're working on some. So latest recently coronavirus. So from our department, some other departments, they have done research on coronavirus. In Hyderabad, you might be knowing, we have a Gandhi hospital. So they went to the Gandhi hospital and they have collected blood samples from various patients. So this is what they are now writing in the methodology. That yes, they have taken 100 patients or 200 patients from so and so area, from so and so hospital. They have done, yes, they have done some sort of tests there. What are the required tests? Everything now they will put it in the methodology. So this is what, like you are doing any survey. So then what they will do, they will go to some area, they will collect the data, and depending on that, they will depending on the data, they will now start putting everything. Now you should put it in the methodology. Sometimes if necessary, you can also use some flow charts like this. And when some measurements are being done for sciences particularly, you should also write the equipment name, because you cannot do like what all we are doing in PG laboratories or UG laboratories, like what we are giving it to students, that your research cannot be done on them. So you should be, means what all the data you are getting should be reliable. It depends on the quality of your equipment which you are using. So that's why the model is being asked. Means there should not be much errors. That is what I wanted to say you. That's why give the details of your instrumentations. So that should be given in the methodology part. So I hope it is clear. Now, suppose that is what I was trying to give you some examples. In the field of social sciences, it is important to mention the location and time as an important factors there. So no, you have to definitely you have to give the locations and what time you have done this. Suppose if you are doing on radiation, then you are that radiation, you will collect some water, you will collect soil, which soil you are collecting, or which from which pond you are taking that water, right? And which area is this being done. Everything should be mentioned in the methodology part. So the for field case studies, that is what the authors must provide the site of the study, biological features, precisely their latitudes and longitudes, some type of research. This is very, very important. In sciences, that is what I said, sample preparation, the complete description of the methodology, because once why this methodology is so important, that is, so if you are working like this, somebody will say yes, they want to work, they want to see, yes, then they will then follow the instructions, the methodology given by you, then follow, and they'll see. Means generally sciences, we will see that yes, they have done this, okay, we will try to do it. So based on the same format, means the same description, we will step by step will start looking into it. Then any software analysis, theoretical persons, what they will do is they will there is nothing data collection, it is only theoretical work, so they will be using some softwares. Then you then give the details of the software which has been used. So the details provided in this section will help other researchers to replicate the study. Means it will help the other people that yes, suppose you have done this, then if you are giving details, the other like in field studies, maybe they will not do it again. Otherwise, if sciences are there, then they will see that it is okay, they have done this, let us see that we will do in the other way. See, this is how this methodology will help us. And now coming to the step 3, and here the language is very, very important. Use passive voice and past tense, because I see that in most of the articles when it is coming for a review, or sometimes when I was a student, means a research scholar, I used to see that your grammar is very weak, because they have some standard format that you have to follow. You cannot write what all you want. So use some voice, that is past tense and passive voice here. Do not discuss your results in the methodology section. No, only how you have done, that's it in your methodology. And the methodology section should be 10 to 20% of your paper. Don't give a lengthy methodology. No, it should be 10 to 20% of your original paper. Then coming to the step 3 is writing the results of your data. As I said, some you have an order. So in the previous slides, I was discussing about why is it important, what all you should include in the results. But here I'm giving a detailed thing that now you have tables, you have tables with you, you have figures with you. Now put them in an order that you have given figure 1, table 1, write it order wise, that you want to say what you want to say first. Give them order. So what all findings you are doing, give them in an order here, the reported data collections and participants. So which is relevant to your research data here. Okay, so this is what actually, now you can use these figures in results section itself. Sometimes the results and discussions goes together in some papers. So they say the results and the discussion, not separately results. In some journals, they will ask you first write the results and now discussion. Now what here it is, sometimes some journal says you can go with results and discussions. So you can write result and a discussion there itself. That is also possible. In some Scopus journals, they will ask you, it is also valid that you will write it like this. So begin the result sections with the central findings, and later move on to the peripheral findings and any variation from the major output. What does this mean is, so you start writing with the important things. Yes, means you have to attract them, you attract the readers, and of course first editor is important here, because once editor is satisfied only, then you'll pass, you'll go to, this will go to reviewers. Otherwise it will stop there itself. So then you have to say them that these are my findings. So you first start the results with the result section with your findings, then slowly come down. Then depending on the results and findings, some what happens is, suppose if you have number of studies, means a number of things which you have to say, then use subsections in that section. Means in the results and the discussion, you say A, you are discussing this, B, you are discussing this, C, you are discussing. Depending on that, now you just give your figure numbers and discuss the same, whatever you are showing in the figures and table, discuss the same in the text, right? And so this is what I am saying. And it should be easier and understandable. You don't give them, you just don't write repeatedly sentences, right? Same thing, don't write twice, thrice. And the language should be easy and understandable. This is very, very important factor here. Now coming to discussion about the results, now justify your data. Suppose, as I said, sometimes it starts with, I'll show one of my research publications. Then you said, we have included results and discussion in one section itself. So you will now start interpreting the data. So suppose if you are talking about figure 1, you in results and discussion, you said you have given in figure 1. Then what is that I have to do is, then discuss about this figure, the data which you have provided in figure 1, table 1. And then move on to that is a sequence 1 which has to relate. So your explanation should be suitable. You don't say that they got like this, they got this, they explained like this, and finally you conclude with something. Otherwise it is confusing. What you wanted to say, nobody will understand. So you have to say that, yes, here these are the results which I have got, and this is the a suitable explanation which I am finding. Then maybe this, so it is following like that. So the same thing is considered here. Something you have to say that, and finally, and you have to say that is what, discuss all the result with suitable explanation, and this is the sign of a good sign of a discussion. Means it says that yes, they have given a suitable explanation for the result. This is how people, and cite the articles. That is very, very much. Suppose we are considering from the previous one, so cite them there. You also can say that so and so et al has discussed so and so. That is what in this. So in our case, this is what is happening. That is what you can interpret there, and indicate finally, after completing that discussion, everything is completed. Then indicate how your present work is impacting in your respective field. Means, is there any useful that you have done this work, or just like that you have found? Suppose if it is only a theoretical concept, you can say some theoretical related conclusions. Or if it is really an application point of view, you can say that this is the application at present, so this is applicable for so and so. Yes, you conclude like this. So this discussion, after discussing, interpreting your data, and complete with some sort of application point of view. And that is what this is expression for suitable units. And when you are dealing with sciences, you have to discuss with suitable units here. And this is so I think it might have repeated here. Okay, this end. So now, this is going back. Discussion and points for discussion. So do not include new ideas and new terminology. This is what, when you are including something new, the reviewers will catch you. Because see, whatever data, means whatever the work you are sending, then it will go to some relevant people who are working in that particular field. So if you want to say something new, that you have done something, unless until you have any complete proof, then you should not authenticately say that yes, this is what is happening. No, you have to say that yes, for sure, this is like this, this is like this. Then don't include something new terms and terminologies in your manuscript. So that will catch the reviewers, see that reviewers catch, and they'll now pose the questions to you. When once your review is completed, they'll give you in n number of questions. So what happened? Then you will be in trouble to answer those questions. So it better avoid them when you are writing. So discuss the relevant argument, and do not irrelevant data should not be included. So these are the things which one has to remember when we are just writing the articles. You should means when you are sitting here and writing, and you should see that if you are a reviewer, then what all questions can be posed. So you just see that those questions you answer now itself. That see that something new can be given by the reviewer, means other than what it is not up to our knowledge, then the reviewer, if he is reviewer, can give you more questions to improve your manuscript. A good means questions. And as I said, your language is very, very important depending on the sections. So you have to use past there. You are depending on the context to use present tense. And don't give unexpected findings in the beginning of the paragraph. You include at somewhere end points. Don't give that this has happened, because you will stuck up there. Then you will not able to, the sequence will miss. So, and later is discuss how the obtained result of your study are important and influence the present knowledge in the field. That is what I was telling you. So finally, now these days, it is very important that, and how this is important. Why you have done this? Okay, I have done this. And is it anything important to the society or not? Or is it improving the knowledge to the people or not? So that is very important. You conclude them, while after the final discussion, you conclude with this. Now, as I said, introduction is it should be maximum 3 to 5 paragraphs. Don't go with a lengthy introduction. Sometimes I see many articles that they will cite many articles, many literatures. It means they cite many other references here. It's the same, they have done this reference, they have done this. The whole one paragraph will be completely with references only. So it should be, now, as I said, your background, what is that is present thing going on, that concise it, and what is that you wanted to do. Maximum 3 to 5 paragraphs. And establish the context of the research, importance of your findings, and fill the gap between what has not done, what is not done. And now aim, if possible, suppose if you have used any hypothesis, use it as a one line, and finally conclude with the aim of the work. And finally, you have to cite the sources, what all references you have taken. Yes, you have to cite them. And what is done, generally we do mistakes. Generally is we do like literature and cite them properly. Sometimes what happens is we don't cite them properly in the text. So that is one of the major problem. And the common problem comes is with the errors. So that is error is with your grammar only. Most of the times we see that the English is very bad. They say that first point they will write is your language, your English is very bad, your grammar is very bad. So this is what generally they say. So so try to avoid them, and don't include one section, like you are writing methodology, write only methodology. You are writing results, only write. Don't put everything in. Don't try to put everything in introduction or methodology. Don't clump one section into the other. So these are the major things which one need to keep in the mind before you are writing. So once it is completely done, check everything. Now write your abstract, write your conclusions, and now you know how to write the conclusion from what all you have written. So you just put the order which is given. So you just write few conclusions. You can also write in the bullet form, or you can write as a paragraph, no problem. Write the conclusions, and then see that acknowledgments are done clearly, and when you are submitting, now everything is ready, title is ready, order of authorship is ready, your applications are ready, and everything, your manuscript is ready. Now what is that one has to do is, now you want to submit it to a Scopus journal. Now you know what to which journal you are want to submit, and who is submitting, corresponding author should submit, because the whole and sole, as I said, the whole and sole responsibility of the research article is the corresponding author. So the editor, the editorial board, the editor will directly send any information to the corresponding author, not to the first author, right? So one should you should, what all you should keep it ready. So first is a covering letter to the editor of the journal. Then while writing a covering letter, it is very important that it is not that so and so way I have done this work, this is a title, and I want to publish in your journal. Don't write like that. Not just, you just say that yes, I am submitting your this article with the so and so title, and these are the authors, and now you say some novelty, that what are your findings in the covering letter itself. Actually, this is what generally if you do, then once you submit it, the whole manuscript will be seen by the editorial, not editorial board, at the office section itself they will see how is your language, and how is the is following your order, means everything is done. So then highlight your novelty of the works. Sometimes in some journals they will ask you in the initial, when you are submitting itself, then ask you highlights of your manuscript or novelty. Highlights is nothing but the novelty of your works in bullet form, like three you have 3 highlights or 4, minimum maximum 4 or 5 will be there. So highlights of the novelty of your work. Then you have to submit your manuscript. These days people are also writing in latex form, and that latex form is something different, and you have some source files and all, and you have to keep everything ready there, and your tables and figures. See that the tables and given your title, table numbering, and what is that, captions, and everything is mentioned there in the tables and figures or not. Then finally the conflict of interest from the corresponding author. So this is a statement which will be, it is a very it is compulsory that when you are uploading your manuscript, the conflict of interest from the corresponding author should be provided. So this, once you submit it to the journal, then and when you are submitting, sometimes some journals they will ask some review, ask the, so what are the, means you have any preferences, like reviewer names they will ask you. So then you have to choose some reviewers relevant to your field, and you can suggest them. It is not that because you are giving these names, it doesn't mean that they will send to only those people. No, they'll ask you few names so that the job can become easy. Sometimes if your luck is good, then maybe the one which you have given, it may go to one of them also. So they will ask you to give funding agencies. That is what I am telling you. The funding, any funding agency, you want to submit your paper as an open access or like a normal journal access, then that everything you have to check once you have completed, and now you build a PDF and you see, once check that everything is in order, that what all you have provided is in order, no more mistakes, nothing, it will convert and no more mistakes, then confirm your submission. Once you confirm your submission, so it will be, now it has gone to editorial office, the journal editorial office there. If it is a 1 month journal, like now these people are journals are saying it is within 30 days we will complete. So within few days you will get the reviews. Means you will get whether it is accepted or you want to refine your paper, something like that. So this is how, means that is what, when you are writing, the quality should reflect. When the editor reads your paper, and he should feel that yes, this article, means our journal should publish this article. This is what actually it should be. How you are, the way you are writing should be. I hope so. These are the some of the references which I have taken from the, of course, this, and this is how it should be, your introduction, and finally your discussion and conclusions should be, I have taken from so and so source. So the time given for me is 1 hour. I think I have completed in 1 hour. Thank you for your attention. Sir, any doubts you have? I think hope you have understood and I think it is useful to all the participants.
Yes,
Yes, madam.
Yeah.
it's definitely really useful. And I would like to request the participants to come up with their
Yeah.
questions so they can ask the resource person for any clarification.
Yeah.
You can also send in your questions in the chat box. I'll be able to read them out, or the resource person will directly.
Sir, I will just a minute, sir. I will show one of my recent publications so
Yes,
that it will be giving some idea to the participants. So this you can see, sir. This is the work done by one of my student, and this is recently published in Ceramic International. That is, this is Elsevier Journal with impact factor 4. So now, sir, another important point I wanted to tell you: the impact factor of the journal is also important, and you want to see how this is and how you choose your work based on, yes, if my work can be published, then you have to, that's why I said you target journal should be there. Once you see that yes, my data will definitely come in this, then you have to write according to that with very much confidence. And see here, sir, this is one thing, and these are the authors, and these are all contributing authors. She's my student and I am the corresponding author, and these are all people who have helped us actually. So I have to give them, because for their help I am giving these authorships. And these are the abstract. See, abstract, it cannot go more than these number of lines here, and very small introduction. And this is methodology, experimental, as I said you. And coming to this, the figures, as I said, you choose what figures you want to keep. Give them in a good, means once they see your figure, it should be attractive. Don't see that something goes away from that. Here, give the units properly, and the captions here, figure 1 caption, and table here, the corresponding to that figure. This is a table which is being given. And as I said you, once the methodology is completed, I have given all the equipment, what all I have used. We have given the details of that. And then you can see I have not separately given result and discussion separately. So here results and discussion goes together here. So subsections. So depending on the studies, what I have adapted. So it is, I have given subsections, sections like 3.1, 3.2, and figures, and 3.3, and the results there itself. I have given all the explanation. After completing that particular section, I have given results with which is matching with the literature, or how I could explain. This is what I have given. And finally, I have gone with conclusions. That is what I said, bullet form, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, like this. And that is declaration of competing interest and acknowledgments and the references. This is how one should means you should plan before you are writing your research article.
Thank you, ma'am. There are two people waiting to ask.
Good
Yes, sir.
evening, ma'am. Good
Yes,
evening,
sir.
ma'am.
Yes.
You said about co-authorship and other
Yes.
aspects.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What about the sole author? Should we get conflict of interest and other formalities? There is no
Ma'am,
name.
corresponding author is responsible for everything, ma'am. It
Okay.
is not the first author. It is not means first author here. Suppose I give an example. Suppose you are doing your work completely. You can be the first author and corresponding author.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
And
And the result, and the rest
no
of the
much.
people, sir, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes,
No
ma'am.
much formalities as such. If we are the sole writers.
Ma'am, you can also write with the single author. You will be the only author also, you can write. No problem.
Okay.
You can write,
Okay.
it's nothing like that. Because see, sometimes what happens is we are collecting our data, okay, and we will be the first author. We will 100% will be responsible. Responsibility will be yours only. First and
Okay.
corresponding, only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that, ma'am. You can do that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am.
Hello.
Good
evening, madam.
Yes, yes.
Suren Sahu. Yeah, please ask your question. Yeah.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening. Good evening.
I have one doubt regarding
Contribution of others. If suppose a journal having 5 to 6 others, am I right?
Yes, yes, yes.
But
You should not exceed.
no, madam. Some journal having up to 8 also.
Yes, yes. What happens is, let me tell you, your paper will get diluted. Understood?
Okay,
And
madam.
diluted in the sense, suppose if you are including eight numbers, so your work will be shared among all the 8.
My doubt is, as per norms in a calculation of API, how to distribute the marks for corresponding other to others. So in API
Corresponding
calculation,
authors, sir, corresponding authors, 70% you will get.
that means on basis of 10, 7 marks
Yeah,
will
yeah,
get the
7.
other.
Yeah.
Remaining persons, madam?
Remaining will
having
get
a-
20 to 30%. Now
having
what UGC
okay.
is doing is, suppose the first author and corresponding author get 70%. Suppose if as Bhagyalakshmi madam was asking, no contributing authors, nobody else, only one author, then 100 marks will be for yours only. The complete
Okay.
will be yours. If suppose you are sharing, the first author
Okay.
and the corresponding author is going to get 70%, and the other remaining 30% will be distributed among all the contributing authors.
Okay, madam. One more doubt I'm having.
Yeah.
So as per my knowledge, journal publication is more value than conference publication.
Yeah, definitely.
But as per norms also it is same or having same value?
Actually, let me tell you one thing, sir.
Madam.
May I know where are you working?
I'm from Vijayawada, madam. Andhra
Vijayawada.
Engineering
Yeah,
College.
engineering college. Sir, it is, you will get, means you will not get the same weightage. Because in a conference, see, it depends on which means proceedings are coming, in which journal
Scopus
the
only,
proceedings
madam.
are.
Only Scopus only.
Scopus. But here, when I say you are not writing a complete manuscript there, like what you are publishing in your journal, it is only conference paper. So depending on that, you will get your marks will be similar to what I was telling you, like 70 and 30. But
actually,
it's better that you publish in a Scopus journals, directly in a journal rather than putting in a conference. Generally, what people do is the same data only, some data which is kept aside will publish in the conference. The major data, what they will do is they will publish in the Scopus journal.
The journal having more value in conference, but when coming to NAC and NBA, they asking both types. But I'm asking,
Yeah, sir. Conferences, okay, the same paper you can publish. But if you feel that paper can be published in the journal directly, it is better you publish there. And for NAC, as you were saying, then you can go for either presentations, like you can give oral presentations, you can give poster presentations. For that also, it will include in NAC, no, sir.
Okay, as per norms, journal having more value. In calculation of score also.
Even calculation of score also, because you are giving DOI number there.
Yeah.
Yes, and your impact factor is mentioned there.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, in NAC you are writing impact factor that you are putting in the Scopus journals. Your impact factor matters.
Some conferences also having same value, like elsewhere conference material.
Elsewhere conference, that is what. But here, what as I feel is, it is better that you do it in the journal directly.
Journal only.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Okay,
good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Kindly suggest Scopus journals for social sciences, ma'am.
Sir, madam, actually, I don't belong to social sciences.
As you said, you
belong to sciences.
Mainly
yeah, ma'am. Actually, you belong to social sciences. You want to publish in Scopus journal. Generally, what you do is, suppose Elsevier is there, right, ma'am? Then your Elsevier, when you go to that website and you see social sciences related journals are there, means it is mentioned there. Okay, ma'am. So you can browse there and see which journal is suitable for your work.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I belong to economics department.
That's what, ma'am. That's what. Any discipline, ma'am. Any discipline. Because here one thing is, the publishers, right? You just have to go and just see that which you are depending on your suppose, like in magnetism I am working, some magnetism 5-6 journals will be there. So depending on the impact factors also, the data which you have collected, and yes, Impact factor also matters. If you have very less data and you want to publish in a very high journal, it is not possible. He will not take your editor itself, he will send you back. Then you have to feel bad. This is generally what happens, ma'am.
Thank you.
Students, I will please ask you a question.
Good evening, ma'am.
Concept.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
So what are the measures should we take for writing any future scope of any paper?
Sir, actually, when you are writing future scope, so you have done some work, sir, right? So
Okay.
after doing it, then definitely you will see that something is to be done. Something will be left over, right? So that you can write it as a future scope. Otherwise, the same work extension also you can write. Suppose if you are doing in one particular, you see, you will not report everything in one paper, right? So you can write the extension of that as a future scope.
That means this the idea that is what we have to proceed further. That can be taken by me and also other also.
Yeah.
They also- they also
You can that can be taken by other also, sir.
Hmm.
That is what it's. That's why your research article. You said I have done up to this work, right, sir? Now what you are saying is that this is what it can be done. Like in your thesis also, the 7th chapter or the last chapter, whatever you will including is conclusions and future scope. What is the future work which is possible from the work which you have already done? That is your future scope. So you in that particular area you are doing and you have done up to this level. The next level will be done either by you or somebody else.
Is
This
it
is what you
compulsory? Is it compulsory to write future scope?
It's better that you can write. Otherwise, on the application point of view, you can write and leave also. No problem.
Okay.
No problem. So it is not compulsory that you have to write future scope in your paper, but it something can be done. That if you mention it is okay. Otherwise, if you don't mention also, no problem. So same, that is what I am saying. If something incomplete is there in your work, you should say that, see, this we wanted to investigate, you should say like that. It's not that somebody will do it. That we will be investigating in our future work, you should say. We will only, that is what we will do it, you should say. It is not that it can be done.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Shami has raised his question. Can I ask you a question, Shami?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
I'm not able
Ma'am.
to. Yeah.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yeah, ma'am.
Ma'am, you said in the acknowledgement section, you have to write the funding agency. If there is no
Yeah.
funding agency, what to write in the acknowledgement, ma'am?
Nothing, ma'am. No funding. Nothing. No. If there is only funding agency, you have to write. Otherwise, don't write anything. Only acknowledge. You leave the funding agencies and acknowledge. If suppose you want to write, you want to acknowledge your head because he is supporting you. You acknowledge them. Our institution is supporting you by some or the other way. Then you acknowledge them. That's it. But some acknowledgements, definitely you'll be working on institution and without their help, you cannot proceed, isn't it? But doing the work, you acknowledge the institution.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Okay, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Your presentation was apt and highly informative.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, speak little
regarding
loudly, ma'am.
When we want to present publication, if you
Yes,
want
ma'am.
to take up an Elsevier journal,
Yes,
it is
ma'am.
time taking, no, ma'am.
Ma'am, these days nobody is taking time, ma'am. Now everything is completed within 1 month.
Which journals?
Means any journals with a good
Quality.
impact factor, ma'am.
Quality
Any
of
journal, yeah, any journal. That is what I am saying. So depending on the work, what you have with the work which you have in your hands, then you know what you want to write. You have already something in your mind. That is why you have done all this work. Now data you have got. Now you got some confidence. Yes, if I can put it in the good form, then you go to the journals first. See what is the publishing time they will give you in the mention. They will definitely mention in their website. Then proceed with, if you want to publish it very fast, then go to certain journals. Some publishing journals are like, for me only it happened, they kept it for 6 months.
Yeah.
Then what will you do? You cannot take it back, or you cannot continue. Means we have to wait till it is completed. So you just check it. Otherwise, if something is problem, they are going more than that what they have mentioned, you can write a mail to editor directly.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you for this.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes.
Ma'am, I'm calling from Andhra Loyola Engineering College.
Okay,
My
sir.
doubt
Good evening.
is,
Yeah.
others, there are so many others for the journal, but is there any specific thing that first author and corresponding author
Yes, sir. There
should
is
be
a
in first
specific.
position and second position?
Yes,
Because
sir.
what my journal, I will be the corresponding author and my professor will be the first author. I will be in the second position.
Okay, okay.
In my co-colleague, what he published is he is the first author and my
Yes,
guide
sir.
is second.
Yes, sir.
So my question is whether is there any specific position for others to be placed?
Sir, actually, this is depends on the guide, sir. That's what. Sometimes what they will do is they will keep as a first author. Actually, they should not. They should not. The student should be the first author. And you don't have a specific guideline for that. But the first author means that the whole and soul work is done by you. And corresponding author says that you are responsible for that, because unless you don't have a corresponding author, unless you have a guide, you cannot proceed it, isn't it, sir? It depends on the guide, sir. Some people do that, that they will be the first author, they will be the corresponding author. Actually, they should not do that. It depends on the guide, sir. It's absolutely depending on the guide.
And my second question is, ma'am,
Yes,
in the citing references for the particular journal, is there any particular limit for the references? Or
No,
see,
sir.
some journals
Sometimes.
we have seen only 10, some are there maybe 50. It depends,
Yes,
no?
sir. Depends. It is not that you put 100 for a small paper. No.
Yeah.
It depends on how much you are writing in the text.
Okay.
You cannot put more references, sir.
Yeah, that's what.
So only, and that's why I'm saying only which is impacting your work, then only keep the references. Unnecessary reference should not be included. Otherwise, it gives a problem to you also.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions? If there's any question, we'll proceed, otherwise we'll wind it up. I don't see any question in the chat box either. So, ma'am, thank you. It has been very, you have gone from A to Z. A very thorough job you have done.
Yes, sir.
Talking about every aspect of publication. Yes. And one feeling I had was the second author, first author is a moral issue. Some, what shall I say, some guides. Some professors, they're greedy, so they want their names.
Yes, sir, that is true. Actually, sir, for research work, if they are a student, like a research scholar submitting for thesis, that credit should be given to, and I'm sorry, I should not say this, that credit should be given to student first, sir, because responding author, wherever you are, your points will be same. You will be recognized.
Now, it happened to me, madam. I wrote an article and somebody just asked me to write, and I included his name, and then later he asked me to include Vice Chancellor's name also. I said nothing doing, I published in my name only. These things happen. No. And again, regarding future scope and all, no research is complete, madam. There is so much of scope for further research.
Yes, sir, definitely, sir. So, but what I am saying is within your work, that's what I said. It is not compulsory that you should, but something which is left, means that is what, while discussion, suppose if you are unable to give complete discussion, and then you should say that, yes, we will be investigating in our future work. You will conclude with that. That is what. It is not that like thesis you should do.
Further research.
Yes, sir.
Yes, madam. Thank you so much on behalf of the organizers, Andhra Loyola Institute of Engineering and Technology and Cape Common Trust. I thank Dr. Y. Kalyani Lakshmi Garu wholeheartedly, and I hope all the participants enjoyed listening to her presentation.